narrow streams. The frightening finale of our horror block begins, with scratches the director's cut, part 2. Stay tuned for more. Now on with the show.
Jerry, it's me.
What's up, Michael?
Do you know anything about the previous inhabitants of this house?
Not much. Just there were some strange individuals. There's also the murder.
You're kidding me. A murder?
An old-fashioned murder. You'd probably love the details, but sadly I don't know very much. It's old history, really. Although it caused quite a stir there in Rothbury. It seems the owner, James Blackwood, I think, went mad and killed his wife. I do remember the date, though. May 1963.
There's enough material for a whole series of stories here, you know.
After you finish your book, my friend.
Yeah, but it can never hurt poking around a little.
Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow viewers, this evening, as close as I can get to Halloween, we're once again on Windows XP, my personal custom tower just a few feet away from my streaming rig. And why here? Well, as you might have seen from part 1, there was a problem with running scratches on modern Windows, but not on this system. Just a sec, let me reconfigure this scene. And yes, for the occasion, I brought down a official wallpaper for the Ring movie from their website. What you saw in the recap was the tame part of the game. Where we're going, the tension's only going to get higher and higher, so let's go. the audio coming through okay? I patched an audio cable to a receiver dock I have connected by USB. So per the Michael's progress log, this journal, where we left off was the end of Sunday. Hold on, because this is where the game stops being tame. Something didn't feel right, he said. Well, the last time we woke up, you were brought to the gallery, so can't hurt to try again. Where's the mask? Okay, that was another nightmare. Somebody was wearing the mask and standing outside the door. And there are those noises again. Well, we pinpointed the source to be the basement, so and this time we actually have enough oil to light a lantern, although we only have 4 matches, so we better make this count. This particular track isn't on the official soundtrack, by the way. There they are again. They're coming from the furnace. What? No way. You gotta be kidding me. Michael, do you really want to climb in there? I mean, this looks like a coal-fired furnace. Imagine what kind of soot is in this thing. Remember when I said in part 1 that rappelling down a house has to be one of the stupidest things a horror character could do? Well, this is definitely going to top it. Calm. Stay calm. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. There's a hole up ahead, though. Like some kind of cell door. I knew this was a bad idea. Even Michael's shivering from this. This is supposed to be the inside of a 1960s era furnace. Radium skull. The last drop of oil was inside the lamp had been consumed. Did I ever mention this song is on the soundtrack also? It's called The Lurker. Yeah, if you have a playlist with this music on it, I'd suggest don't put it on there. I was too confused to think straight and decided against my will to return to bed. Michael, are you nuts? How could you sleep after something like that? I may be insane. I should probably race out of this house and never return, but I just want to go back to bed. Perhaps I'm too tired to realize that I'm not alone in this place. A lot of reviews say that this game gave people actual nightmares compared to other horror games, and I totally agree with them, because that happened to me when I first played this game, way back in 2007. My third and final day inside Blackwood Manor began with an odd feeling of expectation. Focus on what really happened inside this place. I had to solve the mystery. Well, I think Michael's not entirely wrong, because we've picked up a lot of stuff along the way. And when we explored the grounds in part 1, there were different buildings that all needed a different manner to be opened, and I think we have those tools now. It's cold now. Well, I guess no better time to make a good fire. Well, it's time to go fill in our only... Better call Jerry.
It's me.
The ghost hunter. Any contact with the other world yet?
Actually, I'm not sure. Jerry, I'm definitely not alone in this house.
What are you talking about?
Last night I saw something down below. It was moving. I wasn't dreaming, and I'm not making this up.
Are you sure it wasn't a mutant rat?
Definitely no rat.
I'm calling the police.
No, not just yet.
Michael, for Christ's sake, you could have a burglar inside the house.
This is no burglar, Jerry. It's much more interesting than that, and I want to figure this out by myself.
Have you taken leave of your senses?
Just promise me you won't call anyone. I can do this on my own.
Whatever. Just call me if you need any help. I'm driving there today.
Right. Bye.
Well, that's one thing, one less thing to worry about. Well, time to start exploring. I mean, we were stranded inside the house the whole day yesterday. I guess we could use the fresh air. So last time we picked up an unknown key when we were inside the crazy artist's office. And I happen to know it goes to this padlock on the garage, or garage as the UK say it. That is a really tiny truck. Well, and a shout out to YouTuber CJU Games. I'm gonna... It makes me think of a line. Oh, Gordon Freeman. Is that a crowbar? I think it is. Only the toolbox has some useful things. So what do we got? Screwdriver? And a pair of pliers. That's all we want from here. Interesting. A bike with a pedal-powered light. Making use of my limited technical knowledge, I realized that device had to be a dynamo. We should keep that in mind then. For the next area, I want to do some skipping ahead and because the next puzzle really requires some back and forthing if you were playing it blind. And the last thing I want is to waste people's time. And just to make sure... Yes, it's still there. So, in part 1, I played with a little tilting mirror. Well, it so happens, not only can you interact with it, but with this screwdriver, we can also remove it. It'll make sense. Promise me. I promise. Alright. There's still the problem with the water as well. But now that we have the crowbar, I know how to fix that. This valve was stuck. So if to move it, we need a bit more force than our own hands. But the crowbar's not quite enough. We need a bit more space to hit this with. Now it's open. The water was running, but there seemed to be a problem with the pipes. Hopefully there's a working tap somewhere. Somebody tied a wire between these handles. Well, this time we actually have pliers. So, this is the Blackwood's family crypt. Foul smell of rotting flesh. Still no candles. According to this, both Mr. and Mrs. Blackwood died in the same year. And it's easy to miss, but we want this rock. And what we're gonna do next, I wouldn't recommend anyone do normally. Wait, hold on. This one's empty. I'm sensing something suspicious going on. So these must be the past members of the Blackwood family. This was Alfred B. Blackwood, 1802 to 1871. something Fogelson, 1892 to 1941. Someone, Blackwood, 1912 to 1921. A dead cat in an adult-sized coffin? Now that's really bizarre. And Clifford J. Blackwood, 1888 to 1924, I think it says. Oh, it's really dark. So this is where the child was kept. Even though this plaque is readable to us, Michael can't see it. So we gotta find a way to get more light down here. Well, light's coming from here, so we missed. Well, this is some serious pixel hunting, but I know the rock landed here. Vandalism for the win. So now that the light is concentrated here, maybe we could bounce it somewhere. And that's why I brought the mirror. So first you attach the wire to the back, and then tie the whole thing to this candle holder. So the name began with the letter R. Keep that in mind. Something was evidently out of place here. So the remaining two locations are outside the front door. Well, the chapel this way was locked with a key, and we don't have that key right now. So, but we do have something to get into the greenhouse over here. Because it's not locked, it just needs oil. Just like Pajama Sam would have done. Whoa. Well, this place has seen better days. Everything's dead in here. There's something shiny down there. I mean, pry this grating off? Nope, they're all welded to the rest. Wow, look at this tree. Definitely needs some pruning. At least the plants up here are doing better. Oh man, this is definitely overgrown. A hose. And the shovel's stuck in the soil. Well, we can't take this hose with us, but we can handle both ends. Finally! A working tap. At least now Michael won't die of thirst. Now we can take the shovel. So with the tap on... Well, actually we need something else first. So up here in this tiny workbench are more notes from James. So he gave up caring for the greenhouse because they just started dying one day and he couldn't figure out why. Every time I enter the place I feel a sense of dread and decay. That rare plant I brought from South Africa. Death is surrounding this place and I can't seem to do anything about it. Can't think all that began when I brought that. Stop reading those sinister... So he thinks the mask is what's killing everything around this house. Like some kind of curse. Oh. Big shears. This plant was strangely attractive. Well, why don't we take some leaves of it for ourselves? Fertilizer. Riff one. Watering can. And an old fumigator. Like the Flit. So this bush fell and blocked the drain. So maybe we should fix that. So with the water turned on, we might be able to... Yep. So from the looks of this design, it seems the drain flows out this way, past the door. Looks to me like some kind of underground drainage outlet. So maybe we can find where it ends. Let's be nice. We live here, don't want to drive up the water bill. Aha! So it flows out to this natural pond. So I wonder where this key goes. Nope, probably too small. Well, there's one other place inside Blackwood Manor that's been locked. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint, it doesn't go to a door. Well, while we're at it, we better give the chief the news.
Yes?
Hi, Jerry.
Michael, I was worried about you. Are you doing okay?
Yes, I'm fine, and I think I know the identity of my intruder.
Tell me, who is it?
James Blackwood.
The Blackwood person? Michael, are you serious? That the ghost of the murderer is roaming the house?
I'm not talking about his ghost, Jerry. I'm talking about him.
What the heck do you mean?
I mean James Blackwood himself, alive, in this house.
What? How is that possible?
It makes sense. After murdering his wife and realizing what he has done, he begs for help to Christopher Milton, who fakes his death.
Milton, the previous owner? Michael, you're losing your mind. Even if he managed to hide himself, how did he survive all this time? Milton has been missing for years.
Good point, but I'm sure a desperate man like Blackwood would have found a way.
Yes, by turning into a ghost. Wait a minute. Yeah, I have it right here. James Blackwood passed away on June 1963. Would you please stop this?
Jerry, just listen to me. I know I'm right. There's only Mrs. Blackwood's body in the crypt. His is missing.
Oh, God, Michael. You've really gone out of your mind. Digging into coffins, what next? Desecrating the chapel?
Whatever it takes to solve this mystery. You can only find stories like this in books.
Precisely why I'm beginning to wonder about your sanity.
You'll see.
You know what? For once, I think Jerry's right. Someone who went to all these measures to solve a mystery like this can't be right in the head. By the way, I wonder how our secretary's doing. What? Take Monday? Ah. Well, I'm gonna do a little... Hold on. I'm gonna do a little quick save. Wait. Quick save, because there's one thing we can do right now. That number I zoomed in on the contract, we can actually dial that. Now, the way this works is we need to click each of these numbers one at a time. So the number that was on the contract was 01912. Nine, 4, 1, 4, 4.
Good day, the National Bank of Northumberland. Robert Blake speaking.
Hello, Robert. I need some help.
So here we have a dialogue tree that we can use to impersonate our way into finding about the bank account that financed this house. So, James Blackwood is more important to this mystery than Milton, so let's start there.
It's about James Thomas Blackwood. Do you have a customer called that?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't give you that kind of information.
Oh, this is pointless if you're just a witness. Don't try this at home, kids. This is impersonation.
My name is Christopher Milton, a renowned doctor and good friend of the Blackwood family, and I demand some respect.
All right, sir. Please
Well, the construction during the 60s is kind of old news, because anything we wanted to learn about that was already on the contract, so more recent activity would be important.
Good. I need to know about any recent banking activity on this account.
What kind of banking activity, sir?
Well, you tell me. Any withdrawals, payments?
Look, sir, I'm really sorry, but I can only give that information to Mr. Blackwood himself.
So that means the account is still active?
Well, yeah. It means I can't give you this information, sir. You said your name was...
I won't waste your time anymore. Good day.
And that's the only time you can call the bank. If you try again, you'll know it's the same person calling, which is odd because this is 1976, before caller IDs were invented. Well, I know where that key went. So that's really interesting, though. If James' account is active, that means either he'd have to be alive, or somebody, probably Milton, gained ownership of it to manage their affairs, which is still really weird, though. Something's definitely going on. Crazy or not, Michael is definitely onto something. Well, here's the answer. This one locked drawer. So first up, a note from Dr. Milton to Catherine, March 1963. So even though Blackwood's been sending Milton letters about suppressing this curse, even Milton's realizing it's only a ruse, which explains his frantic entries in the journal in part 1. I've been playing the role of an ally who believes in James, and so far I've done a good job in convincing him, but I'm afraid it won't last much longer. What began as a hobby has now become a dangerous obsession. He wants me to perform an African ritual in that awful mask he brought. Convinced he really is an ancient spirit which will harm everything he loves and cares for. And about that other issue, you should know I've gotten over it. What we did 2 years ago Wait, 1961 was 2 years before this. Are they talking about their kid? Well, that explains why this is locked up. And the only thing is here, this box. Now, what could the combination be? Well, this puzzle is kind of a big leap in logic. Because in order to explain that, in order to solve that, we have to backtrack to somewhere else. Now remember how the first letter of the child's name on that plaque was R? Well, here it is. And there's a 5 in the corner of this block. But down here, see this line, B-I-N, and there's an O up here? Well, put all those letters together and it comes out pretty simple. The child's name is Robin. Robin Blackwood. And so all we have to do is use the numbers on the corners of these blocks and I think we'll have our code. So R is 5 and then O is, it's upside down, but it's actually 9. Then B is 0, I is 9, and N is 7. These are just a red herring. quick load it back here. The picture's not going to help. We have to rely on the text at the bottom. So that's already set. Then 0, 9, it's empty. Oh, wait a second. If we click this, then turn this, that must release the latch, so if we just pull, then it comes loose. Ah! There's the church key. But before we go there, we have some other tests that can happen too. There. Because Jerry just gave us one more date for the newspaper, June 1963. You know, if I was in Michael's shoes as a fellow writer, if I was here and I was tasked with finishing a novel, I would be taking notes on everything I saw, because they might come in handy for the book. I mean, as an architecture lover, this would be a gold mine. I would just be writing down everything. So I went through the news during June 1963. Mr. James Blackwood has died at age of 56 due to a heart attack. Dr. Milton is said to be taking care of a funeral that nobody will attend, and all the belongings of the Blackwood family are now in his possession. Wait a minute. Somebody wrote the number of Police Chief William Bailey on this paper. So maybe we can call that too. The first system I played this on back in 2007, the transitions took forever to load, so I'm glad that the system I built is a little bit faster. Other games do click and drag. This is just click on the number and it moves by 1.
Who is this?
Hi, Are you Mr. William Bailey?
That's me. And you are?
Yes, my name is Micheal Arthate. I'm a journalist for a local newspaper in Rothbury.
I see. And what's this all about?
Well, you're the former police chief of this town, aren't you?
Indeed. I served many years ago.
And you were once in charge of a famous, or should I say, infamous case here?
Oh, bloody hell. Don't tell me this is about James Blackwood.
Well, yes. I'm writing a story for my newspaper. The most famous police cases of Northumberland.
Have you got any idea how many times I've talked about this? Go to your nearest library. I'm sure you'll find plenty of information about Blackwood there.
Now, I'll drop something interesting. This game has two endings, the second ending was added in the director's cut, but to see it, it takes a very convoluted process. The first half is clicking your typewriter at every possible opportunity, and the other half is choosing dialogue options that sound more insane. Now I'm going for the regular ending first, so I'm going to keep to the calmer responses. It doesn't affect the actual conversation. It goes either way.
But, sir, this case is fascinating. I couldn't stand reading a few boring notes someone wrote 15 years ago. I'm very passionate about my work, sir, and I need the best details I can get. Please.
What is it you want to know?
Well, in the first place, what did Ava Mariani see exactly?
She saw enough, son. James Blackwood was dragging a shape into a hole in the garden. At first, Mrs. Mariani couldn't realize what it was, but eventually she made out the dead body of Catherine Blackwood with a serious wound.
And Blackwood was automatically deemed guilty?
He was found digging his wife's son.
Why did James Blackwood never appear before a jury?
When you're someone as renowned and famed as James Blackwood was, you can pretty much avoid the authorities. However, you can't avoid justice. And justice was brought upon James Blackwood.
Justice? How?
He died shortly after the accusation. You should know about that.
What happened to Dr. Christopher Milton?
How should I know? You bet your life that slimy worm was up to something. I couldn't prove it, though I spent years investigating him. A shame we couldn't implicate him as much as James Blackwood.
Are you saying he could have had something to do with the murder?
Blackwood and Milton were very intimate. Milton did the impossible to aid his friend, and even clear his name after he died. You do the math.
And was ever determined the cause of death of Catherine Blackwood?
Yes, partly. Mrs. Mariani managed to see her throat was slit open. Ripped, she would say. It must have been horrible for the poor girl.
Still, everything sounds so vague, as if something were missing.
Are you questioning my performance on this case, son?
No, sir, not at all. I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, why a proper autopsy was never done.
An autopsy to whom?
Please, sir, this is very important to me, and I could really use your help. I'm trying to fit all the pieces of this mystery together.
Mystery? What mystery? You must be one of those people that just love splitting hairs, don't you?
I don't think I understand, sir.
Listen, son, that cold-blooded bastard murdered his wife, God knows why. But he and his fancy doctor did the impossible to hamper our investigations. You don't have to be a brilliant detective to realize Blackwood did it.
So, a rich construction engineer and his doctor friend, they stopped the police from investigating them further? Yeah, well, they were rich. Checks out. But wait a second. If James buried his wife in the garden, Why was there a body in the crypt?
There's always a reason behind a murder. Nobody has ever found out why Blackwood did what he did.
Psychopaths don't need any reasons, and James Blackwood turned into one, precisely.
Well, then tell me how Blackwood reacted when you pulled his wife from beneath the ground.
I beg your pardon.
I mean Catherine Blackwood's body when you dug in the garden of the manor.
Like I said, they hampered the investigation. We never managed to set one foot inside the manor. What kind of bloody journalist are you, son?
But are you telling you never actually retrieved the body?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Now, if you don't mind,
But wait, this doesn't make any sense.
stop wasting my time, damn it. I was enjoying my retirement until you had the brilliant idea of calling me. I don't want to hear anything else about this case ever again.
Please, Mr. Bailey, don't...
Leave me alone.
Well, that was quite an enlightening conversation. So these grounds, this mansion where we are, is practically an untouched crime scene. The cops never got inside the manor at all. Which means I was right. Somewhere out here, Catherine is still buried in the garden somewhere. So whoever was in the crypt was someone else. But who? Well, guess what? That phone call actually triggered something out here. We got the letter back from the maid. Anxious. I just tried to remind myself that I would give a raise to my efficient assistant. Yes, we should. April 28th, 1963. So this was written by Ava Mariani, and it must have been sent because what we sent to Barbara was the imprint of the sheet above it. I want to return home. I feel like an alien. I don't belong here anymore. Too much activity, too much moving around. Nobody would allow me upstairs, although I've secretly been taking pictures there. They are well hidden under a loose board beneath my bedside table. So my guess is Miss Mariani just packed up and left when things were going crazy with the men. And did I mention that officers said Blackwood and Milton were intimate? Well, there's many meanings one could take out of that. Aha! Here it is. The photo. The hot evidence that caused all this. And this looks like it was rendered because that's the path to the church. And this looks like it was out of a window in the tower. And we can see the tip of the tower is pointing right here where he's digging. So I guess she got it back after the investigation was over. So maybe we can find that area Clicked right on the picture of Cthulhu as I was coming up. Maybe one try. Didn't want to touch the typewriter nor even to look at it. I had to suppress a sudden urge to throw the typewriter through the window. So yeah, clicking this typewriter at different times a day is the main strategy of getting the alternate ending, because the more you click, the more it seems like Michael's just slowly going insane. Well, I don't see the shadow right now. Let's try winging it. Didn't know where to dig. Well, let's check out the church. Even in the most brightly lit room in the game, this place is still creepy. And of course, being Catholic, they have all the stages of Christ and his crucifixion. Why is it always Catholic in horror games? The same thing happened in Ex Mortis 2, The Seventh Guest, and so on. Well, up here in this little loft is some supplies. Items that seem to have belonged to a priest. Oh boy. Don't worry, we don't have to read this. Ah, the old cut out a book to put as a safe trick. Small metal ring, huh? And this looks like a loose panel. I wonder. Looks like some kind of chain on a track tied to a panel under the altar. And the chain seems to go up to this really creepy crucifix. I don't know what INRI means. Just seems like some kind of Latin acronym. Well, if you look closely, there are nails in the hands of this statue, but not at the feet. But we found a nail upstairs, so maybe that's where it goes. Huh. So it looks like something loosened the sign, so maybe if we move it, something will happen. Yep, electricity's still out, but finally, after 2 days of searching, we finally found a candle. It's a really short one, but it'll have to do. Occultism in African culture. Strange titles such as De Vermis Mysteries gave me the shivers. I heard that's an in-universe book from the Cthulhu mythos. So, that's not a good sign. So James knows his wife is onto him. It is imperative that you carry on with this task. And the book is also mentioned alongside the Necronomicon in Penumbra Black Plague as well. As in Cheska. I fear she's willing to shut me up in a madhouse. They faced a god, Christopher, and lived to tell it. I want you to do it. I know I'm asking you to become a cold-hearted murderer, but our lives and many others are at stake. So Christopher Milton couldn't go through with this ritual, and he's been in self-guilt for who knows how long. I could have stumbled upon one of the most ancient tribes known to humanity, dating back to when the so-called Bushmen inhabited South Africa over 20,000 years ago. 200 centuries of inbreeding and cannibalism. Ugh. I've seen them, and they can't be called humans. So we keep an evil entity at bay which has been stalking them since the Dark Ages. So they thought their systematic slaughtering of mankind as good times, or golden ages. The vengeful god, which is incidentally referred to as Dolholm, would control the Dalmar via its many incarnations. Most of the time it would be a tall feline-like figure, always dwelling in shadows, and slaying any villager who would unwittingly come close. Some say its deadly claws would not only penetrate your body, but your soul. It was as if the Dalmar were simple toys to play with. So they freed themselves with an amulet that forced the entity to retreat. Two main elements were required to perform the exorcising of this evil: and they had to be related to each other. One representing the victim, and the other representing the victimizer. What could be related to a god? This god in question. Next, these elements had to be mixed with a rare medicinal plant, which apparently had the properties to blend both items together, as long as they were not too solid. Finally, a branch of a particular tree had to be used as the holder. Take note of this. I think this sounds like clues to a puzzle. All elements had to be organic. The entities surrendered to their will and offered divine power in exchange for sacrifices. They got guarded for ages. The evil spirit was cast into a mask, trapped inside the confines of its blessed wood for eternity. The Dharma will keep the spirit at bay via regular rituals involving the bloody sacrifices and the aforementioned amulet. What made the Dalmar savagely slaughter neighboring tribes without any apparent reason? Was it a violent, raw instinct? Did they feel threatened? This is the final note on the African tribe related to that sinister African mask that James Blackwood stole. And they slaughtered neighboring tribes out of fear that someone would take the mask and release the god. They killed to protect themselves from falling again into the Dark Ages. If they went to such extreme lengths to avoid this, what did they have to endure when the entity was free? The rituals haven't been performed on the mask for years now. Gee, thanks a lot, James. So did he kill his wife to sacrifice to this god? Believe it or not, we're actually getting close to the end of the game. I give you my advantage, and I give you my time trying to reach your connection on a telephone line.
Yes?
Jerry, it's me.
Michael, I was about to call you.
Why?
I've been thinking about what you told me, and you could be onto something there, but I'm worried about your safety now. This could be dangerous.
What do you mean by dangerous?
Well, let's suppose you're right, and James Blackwood is indeed hiding somewhere inside the house. He's a madman, a murderer, and your life could be in danger.
Jerry, if James Blackwood is still alive, he'd be nothing more than a harmless, decrepit old man. I don't think I'd have any problem outdoing him.
And what if he is armed?
I'm willing to take that risk. He surely knows I'm here by now. What if he's waiting for me to leave so that he can escape? I can't miss this opportunity.
The opportunity of what, for Christ's sake?
Of knowing. I'm already too much into this, Jerry. And if I don't know what happened inside this house, I won't be able to sleep again.
You're obsessed. You were supposed to finish your book, get some rest, and now look at this. What are you going to say to your editor?
Who knows? Maybe this whole episode inspires me to write that ending. I'm sorry. I can't leave this now, Jerry. It's too late.
I can't believe this. I don't understand you. Doesn't the possibility of spending another night in that house with a creepy old man hiding in the basement scare you?
I know what you're trying to do. Goodbye, Jerry.
Michael? Michael! It's dangerous, do you hear me? Dangerous! You have to leave that place!
I'll keep you informed.
Wow, all of a sudden Jerry is worried for my safety. Hold on, there's something new. And yes, that last call triggered this second delivery. Notice of eviction? This was issued 2 days ago when we arrived. Due to irregularities during his acquisition process carried over by Mr. Jerry P. Carter, you are to immediately leave the property known as Blackwood Manor. If you fail to comply, legal proceedings will be enforced against you. You have 2 days to effectively abandon the property after the issuing of this notice. We take no responsibility for the courier service. A police officer is due to arrive at Blackwood Manor on Tuesday, October 15th. Should you be present, you'll be immediately taken into custody without further notification. What the heck? That's why he wanted us to leave. God damn you, Jerry, you set me up. You sold me a house on fraudulent charges. Oh my God. Yeah, he faked the acquisition of this house. So we only have a few hours left to solve this mystery and get out of here. I think we found the real villain of this story. Well, if he's not going to come for us, then we better fix our car. And we wouldn't do this until we read that letter. But we know what the problem is. The battery's out of power, but thankfully, there's something in the garage that can fix that. So if we put the battery here, and then move connect the wires there, get pedaling. That should do it. Really, one round is enough, but I just have to be sure. Small charge is better than nothing. You know, the first time I played this, I didn't know you had to also do this. Do something. What about future inhabitants? What if someone got injured because of what I did? So, we can't go. Not yet. And that little action actually advanced the time. Well, now there's a shadow. And we saw in the photo that where he was burying her... Well, let's give it a try. Yeah, the photo actually showed him burying Catherine right at the tip of this shadow, so it's actually pretty close to the trees. There she is, left to rot in this improvised tomb. His teeth leaping out of this. Now, what we gotta do here is technically grave robbing, but if we want something related to the victim for that amulet, a tooth from her could do. And what do you use to pull teeth out? Pliers. Back to her dead, cold dreams. And now it's already evening. I'm gonna wait a bit because when I open this door, the music will stop. It's a really somber tune. Something tells me it won't. So Michael thinks we've been suffering the same ailment as James and Blackwood before us. Are we truly being haunted by an evil spirit, or are we just mad? Well, next, we need the victimizer. And it's not as cryptic as you think, because James said that the god Dolholm manifested as a feline figure. And in the gallery, on this bust, is an amulet with a lion's claw on it. That should fit the bill. The masks seem to be more menacing than ever. It's interesting how clicking on the same items prompts different responses depending on what time it is. So, we actually have all the ingredients for the amulet. We have the victimizer, we have the plant that can blend them, and we have the holder branch. All we gotta do now is mix them. And the kitchen has something I overlooked. In the middle of this table is an old-fashioned coffee grinder. I've actually seen these in real life. Can I just say that's a really weird sound? It sounds like popping your lips. Anyway, we just need to pop each ingredient inside, give it a good turn, and pull the dust out. It's almost like we're making a really weird salad. But it's not just going to fit on the branch like this. We need to actually cook it. You think we could just use the stove, but we can't. But there is another thing. There is a stove that does work. And this is where the paint lid comes in. an improvised plate. Pop it on and use our last match. Things have gotten real now. Shit has hit the fan. I was ready. The power compels you. Then the atmosphere felt lighter, as if the house had been relieved of a monstrous burden. Yay! Happy music for once. Now I think at this point we could just do the inverse of when we got here and grab all this and take it with us, but for some reason we just don't. Maybe Michael doesn't think it's necessary yet. Oh yay! We're done now. Or are we? Ha 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 ha! Well, could it be any? What's causing that? What could that be? Could it be any more disturbing than this? Oh, the fire burnt out. This is it. As I went down the fireplace, I couldn't shake the feeling of entering a forbidden zone, a place that had been and was supposed to remain forgotten in time. There it is. That's where we were looking from. So it looks like somebody pulled bricks out of this so that heat would actually go through here. This is it. So this is a prison door. Whoever's behind here couldn't get out. Maybe they were just rattling the cage, so to speak. Well, we can't look through it, so the only other option is to open this and go in. Yep, this looks like a dungeon, alright. But why on earth would the Blackwoods make this? It's like they sectioned off part of their basement just for this purpose. Traces of raw meat. Wait a second. Milton has paid for meat from this butcher's shop. So, was he feeding whoever was down here? Fresh water and a teddy bear. Bites ripped this. Oh my God! It wasn't James down here. It was the kid. It was Robin. They faked his death and locked him up in here. Ripped, she would say. So maybe Robin killed his mom in revenge or something, and James just buried her when she was already dead. So that means Robin? Are you there? Yes, Michael, get out of there as fast as you can.
Unsure of what I had just seen, I raced my car and left Blackwood Manor as quickly as possible. I am not ashamed of what I did. That disfigured face is still stalking my nightmares, and I've never put foot inside a Victorian house ever since. But there's certainly one thing that I'm grateful for. It was thanks to my encounter below that house that I was able to finish my book and become a prolific writer.
Hey, look, the plants in the greenhouse are alive. I'm gonna let the credits roll because this is a good song, but we're not quite over yet. There's still two elements I have to show off. Well, maybe. Not likely, but someone else might. Cause, oh yes, in that moment of panic, he forgot to lock the door. Like I said, there's two other parts. That's what I saved this final save game for, because in this playthrough, I went through all the steps to get the alternate ending, and this is it. First up, notice how the music is different, less ominous. And by these entries, I tried every attempt to click on the typewriter. I can't even look at the typewriter. My stomach aches every time I'm inside the room, and I feel sick as I get closer to it. I am not Micheal Arthate. He used to be a great writer, but me, I can't write. I am a nobody. So in this continuity, the cell is different. Because this time, there's no dugout hole, no food remnants on the table, and no teddy bear. Instead, a single corpse with a letter. They didn't stop. I thought they did, but they kept buzzing in my head. Milton. I left Milton rotting inside the crypt. He was half alive when he gasped my name, his last word. And I shut the coffin and never looked back. I'm a savage, a murderer. Catherine beaten to death and tangled in her roots. It's all their fault. They made me do it. The whispers. And even in here, deep down in this hole, they just won't leave me. As I dropped the letter, I couldn't contain the tears in my eyes. But I wasn't crying for Blackwood. I was crying for myself. I had it in me too. It was the only explanation. I had lost my mind. I left it there, in Blackwood Manor, forever. Last, and I would say least, is this DLC. Yeah, Radium Skull, the triggers for the alternate ending are clicking the typewriter at every single time of day and saying the unhinged responses to Chief Bailey. It's really convoluted. A lot of people would miss that. But to close our show and to put a bow on this story, it's time for the last visit, the exclusive DLC to the director's cut.
In other words, you must head right away to the Blackwood estate and get me something.
But sir, that story is long forgotten now. No one cares anymore about...
They will as soon as the estate is demolished. 2 weeks from now, that place is going to be smashed to bits. It's such an event will revive of all the rumors and madness.
Micheal Arthate supposedly solved the Blackwood enigma, but for some reason never shared his solution. Perhaps I could persuade him...
You can forget about that. Mr. Arthate rarely speaks to the press, and less so about this story. Not even the most experienced and reputed reporters in the field have convinced him to talk.
I'm glad to hear you think so highly of me, sir. Perhaps he decided that preserving the mystery would be in the best interests of everyone.
No, I think he's a very unstable fella, and his solution was probably as far-fetched as what town people were rumoring back in the 60s. You know, a family curse or aliens from outer space possessing Blackwood.
Yes, thrilling. What about Jerry Carter?
Jerry Carter was convicted to 8 years in prison with a serious charge of fraud, but only spent 4 inside, and is now doing community services under probation and liberty. He's never crossed a single word with Michael since his stay at Blackwood Manor, and probably doesn't know a thing about the mystery.
I can't say I'm excited about this, but I don't have much of a choice, I guess.
No, what you have is a potentially great article on your hands. Do your best, as this is probably our last chance to shed some light about what happened inside that house.
Fine. I'll drive there tomorrow. I've parked my car inside the estate, and I'm about to start investigating.
Yes, this time we're playing an unnamed news reporter who's sent to investigate Blackwood Manor for the final time before it gets demolished 2 weeks from now. Yeah, there's a glitch because everything Michael acquired in the main campaign gets carried over to this for some reason if you played the main campaign first. These 2 items are our actual inventory.
This is my trusty recorder. I'm using it to make a testament of my visit to Blackwood Manor.
And this time the lines at the bottom are voiced. But honestly, for Michael's lines, I'm honestly glad they didn't voice those because there were a lot more. And it could get very annoying if we were clicking on some things.
There's a huge amount of junk inside this garage. I won't even attempt going in. This can might prove useful.
I don't know what time period this takes place in, but I'm guessing it must be at least 10 years from 1976. It looks like somebody took all the water from the fountain and used it to block off the path to the church and the greenhouse.
I can't go this way. It's a huge pool of water, blocking the way.
Well, we have a cannon, and a full container is better than an empty one.
It looks like someone left in a rush and dropped all their, souvenirs.
This was the hole that the camp that was shown from the inside just before the end credits of the main game.
Ugh! There's something moving down that hole. There's a faint light coming from it, but I can't see what's inside. The whole place is exhibiting signs of vandalism and trashing.
Holy moly, you can say that again. It's like it was a free-for-all and people were just stealing everything they could knowing the place was going to get torn down.
These paintings must have been quite pricey. They're worthless now.
Somebody get a mirror. It looks like a shout out to Red Rum.
I guess the doorknobs must have been very valuable. The graffiti is barely readable. Not that I would want to read it. I doubt it would provide many clues.
Go to hell, B-word. Nucleosis rules. Milton lives. How can you... We can go down the secret passage. Uh-oh. It looks like Robin got loose.
Ah! Oh, there's an intense smell of urine in this room. It seems like cats have claimed it as their home. Ah, there's some object inside that hole. Ah, there's also a nasty cat in there as well.
Are you sure that's a cat?
Here, kitty, kitty. Ah! It almost ripped my hand off. What a vicious little bugger. You pray I don't find a butcher's knife around. If I do, I'll send you to feline heaven.
I guess Robin had a pet cat in there.
What a charming little teddy bear. Its head is almost ripped off.
Well, what do you do to get rid of a cat? Get it wet and then it'll just run off. Let's refill it, just in case.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Please don't crash. Oh no. Don't worry, I can. It's not a long campaign. In fact, it's really short.
I've parked my car inside the estate, and I'm about to start investigating. This can might prove useful.
That's happened before.
I don't see the point in doing that. The whole place is exhibiting signs of vandalism and trashing.
So if, in a place this pricey and huge, if you ever had to steal something, what would you take?
Ah! Oh, there's an intense smell of urine in this room. It seems like cats have claimed it as their home. Ah, there's some object inside that hole. Ah, there's also a nasty cat in there as well.
Me, I'd go for a few of their books. from the looks of things, these guys didn't take the piano, they just stripped the parts out of it for some reason.
And the prize is a doorknob. This doorknob is probably of more value than my entire outfit.
So someone tried to steal this and they dropped it. And judging by the design, it looks like it goes to one of those green doors. Wow, someone must have gotten sick of Jerry too.
This phone seems to have gone through some rough moments. In its current state, this is an extremely uninviting dining room. The door is stuck beyond hope.
Oh man, the study is completely off limits here. Yeah, this campaign is really short because a lot of areas of the house are blocked off. I don't know why.
The doorknobs here were likely of a high value. No wonder. This place must have been glittering in its heyday.
This place is kind of similar to the decrepit Stoff Mansion in 11th Hour, sequel to The Seventh Guest. Although at least here we don't have to solve convoluted anagrams and riddles.
Ugh. I wonder if this kitchen was ever tidy.
Well, this place has definitely been looted.
It's impossible to go this way. The door is rusted shut.
No going to the crypt then.
My goodness, they didn't even spare the forks. This door is severely damaged. There doesn't seem to be anything of interest beyond it, so I won't bother.
Not even the maid's room either?
There must be a reason why the burglars didn't pick these cans. Oh, judging by their smell, I think I know why. The atmosphere is almost unbearable down here in the basement. The walls are dripping with moisture. It's a huge furnace, which still doesn't seem quite large enough to heat the whole house.
So there's two items we can get down here. A rag and a bottle of dish soap. Real good thing I quick saved.
And the prize is a doorknob.
You know, I was on a Q&A with Augustin Cortez on the Senscape Discord, and he said he doesn't like this DLC at all and thinks of it as non-canon.
In its current state, this is an extremely uninviting dining room. Ugh. I wonder if this kitchen was ever tidy. The atmosphere is almost unbearable down here in the basement. The walls are dripping with moisture. I think I'll take my chances with the other stairway. This one looks quite dangerous.
Come on, really? So somebody took the construction materials from the third floor and dumped it down here. Finally, we can search up here.
This is the room where Micheal Arthate slept those 3 fateful days. Not much to see here, though.
Yep, not surprised they'd steal his typewriter. Aw, Man, I would take this Jan van Eyck portrait.
That's odd. Arthate left most of his stuff in here. In turn, it seems, later visitors have barely left anything.
Well, now I kind of get it. I mean, Michael was in such a panic to get away from Robin that he forgot to go back for his stuff. No surprise there. Wow, they even stole the sheets and cover. But not Dr. Milton's bag. Oh yeah, they've definitely ripped down these paintings.
This room was probably a cozy place before. Not anymore.
Aw. I'd definitely take this picture. It deserves a better home.
A bottle of thalidomide. I remember reading something about that drug.
Yeah, thalidomide. I've read somewhere that this was distributed over the counter back in the 1960s, and it was prescribed later to help morning pains during pregnancy, but it's well documented that the children of those parents who took that drug came out really, really deformed. Now, nowhere near what Robin looked like, but it's an interesting bit of detail. So Catherine Blackwood was taking thalidomide, and it's possible that Robin looks so deformed because of that drug. Although I'm thinking something else had to have happened to mess up his mouth and stuff like that. Nobody else managed to open the safe either.
Aha, the plot thickens. This is the gallery where James Blackwood carried on his eccentric hobby. Or what's left of it.
Not surprised people would steal the stuff in here. Like Indiana Jones would say, they'd be better off in a museum.
What a shame they took everything. I would have loved to have seen what kind of stuff Blackwood kept here. Not much to see here. How interesting. This seemed to be a secret storeroom. Whatever was here must have been of high importance. Unless they wanted to keep it secured for other reasons.
Oh no. That dream came reality. The mask is missing. Somebody took the evil mask. That is not good.
I won't be able to go upstairs. It looks too dark. And, dangerous.
Oh, come on. That's the most pathetic excuse I've ever heard.
There must have been several paintings adorning this hallway in the past. Only this one remains now, though. Most likely too scary for the burglars to take.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. So, in the main game, this bathroom was completely glossed over. But in here, there's actually a sort of puzzle.
The window seems to have been covered with mud.
Why? I don't know. Oh, dang it. Now I gotta refill the can. You see why I do speedrun-like paths like this in other games? Is because I hate backtracking. And backtracking just wastes your time too. So we soaked the rag, put some dish soap on it, and just wiped the windows clean. And this time, unlike the main game, we can actually look inside the bathtub. There's the mask. But how did it get here?
I can't tell exactly why, but I don't like this mask one bit.
No, if I were him, I would take it myself. But we can't. Oh no. Not the track What You Waited For. the basement theme. This is different.
No!
Who are you? What are you doing here? Can't you see this place is dangerous? Robin, please forgive me. I had to see you before I returned to my dying bed.
As I hurriedly left Blackwood Manor, I tried putting together what I just experienced, to no avail. I was in shock and couldn't think clearly, and it took many days until I was ready to pass judgment on what I'd seen. The Blackwood estate has now been demolished, and I have arrived at a conclusion. It is clear that the Blackwood family, with the help of this Dr. Milton, kept their son hidden from the public as he was suffering from severe malformations. It is unclear whether he was truly dangerous, or the Blackwoods were simply psychotic. Quite possibly one thing led to another, and this situation ended with the death of Catherine Blackwood. We can finally give some closure to this sad episode in the peaceful town of Rothbury. And yet, there's something I can't quite explain. A missing link, something that just doesn't fit. We may never know what the real heart of the mystery is. But for the time being, this will have to do.
Well, that wasn't as nice of a ending as the first game, but it does put some practical explanations on most of what happened. I mean, Jerry finally got his just desserts for that scam, and it's never explained who that guy was that opened the front door. Augustine claims that it was Milton, but that still leaves open the corpse in the crypt. I thought it was James, but, well, it's all mixed, but that's kind of the point of the story. It's just like Michael's old notes when he was having trouble with his book. He couldn't decide if the twist was realistic or supernatural, and at the end of the day, the story just leaves it ambiguous. Hence this ending phrase. Well, I guess happy Halloween.